World for Hong Kong was the first time that we integrated Disney characters into the Small World attraction. And the setting in Hong Kong is absolutely beautiful. There's a big mountain behind the park. And we wanted to add a lot of new scenes to really pay homage to the fact that we were in Asia now. So we did a lot of research looking at what types of other countries we wanted to include or embellish or enhance. And so doing research is a huge part of really what we do. And so we did a lot of research. We wanted to add some scenes from Cambodia, so pulling some research, doing some concept art and design development, working out in a white model, which you see down on the right, I'm sorry, the left, and doing all the color design as well in the model. So this was a scaled model. It was a 1:10 scaled model that we did fully painted to document all of the design, and then we take this to the field with us when we're actually building it, and we're able to work from the design drawings and also from the model. And this is it in all its glory in the actual show. Hong Kong Disneyland, we worked on an expansion. It's the first land, Toy Story Land, is going to open in November. And again, this was a great example where we worked with our partners in the park there. They wanted to expand the park, add more content, appeal to an audience, maybe bring in some young adults. So we came up with 3 stories. We have Toy Story Land, and then we have Grizzly Gulch down at the bottom, that opens next year, and then Mystic Point, which opens in 2013. Each very distinct, each with a different personality and character. Toy Story Land, obviously, is based on the Toy Story film series, and we have 3 different rides there of varying thrill and family appeal. And, you know, it's great content, so we have everything from shade structures to meet and greets, lots of murals, lots of icons, lots of park graphics and marquees, all based on, you know, this content where you can't go wrong with that. We also have Grizzly Gulch, which is an 1880s mining town, and it's a boom town. It's not an old ghost town. It's really happening, and you walk in and you feel like it's really you're really there. And we have a coaster ride that is based on sort of the great Disney storytelling tradition of man versus nature. So we have this big old bear that's scratching his back on a track switch, and of course he scratches a little too hard, pushes a switch, we go down the wrong path, and we're sent on our way. What's great about this, it's sort of like Big Thunder, except it's unraveled and it winds itself actually through the town that we've designed that's part of the land. So at one point you go up to a mountaintop and a cable snaps and you shoot backwards and you go backwards all the way through town. It's that orange line that's in the middle there. So you're racing through town, going backwards. You back into a different mine scene, and there's a mama bear and her baby, and she's reaching for some fish, and the baby sets off the lantern, which sets off the explosion. We go blasting out of there again, winding our way back into the station. So, great story of man and bear. At the end, of course, there's a little bead where we see the mama bear and the baby, and they have their fish, so we know that they're okay. This is just a great example of how we develop some of our characters. You know, we often anthropomorphize our characters, so starting with some really rough sketches about what the movements might be and what the personalities and characters might be. So we use this a lot to develop our animated figures. The next land is Mystic Point, a whole new story. Again, a loose homage to Haunted Mansion, but a whole different experience. Again, we use concept art to sort of define the placemaking in the story. We do a layout to understand the length of the attraction, what the different scenes might be as the story unveils itself. We do studies of what the ride vehicles might look like, and I actually saw a picture recently of the ride vehicle, and that's just a little scale maquette that's about this big. It looks just like that. It's so cool. Again, using storyboards to help develop the story. There's a monkey who's very mischievous. He opens a magic box, and this music dust comes out, and as it touches things, these things come to life. And music plays a big role in this attraction. As the show progresses from scene to scene, things become a little more perilous for the monkey and actually for ourselves as we're riding through the vehicle. The last scene with the Monkey King in there is this sort of whirling dervish, and it gets crazy. The vehicles are spinning around each other like doing this do-side-do, and there's music dust everywhere, and the music is blasting, and it gets to the end, and the monkey gets to the last scene, closes the box, and everything goes quiet. Again, some more character development. We decided to go really exaggerated with some of the characters just to make them really fun and appealing. That's Lord Henry Mystic and Albert, his pet monkey. We also obviously have a whole architectural division where we work with architectural designers and engineers and start to develop, well, what does the building look like? Because the building says as much about the story and the place as the actual attraction inside. So we really want to look at how we use architecture to tell our stories. So an example of a line drawing, an example of some color studies that we did, and this is Lord Henry Mystic's mansion where the story takes place. It's very eclectic because he's got a very broad range of friends from all sorts of different countries, so you'll see different architectural elements in the architecture itself. We play with optical illusions. Again, because it was in Hong Kong, we wanted to use some Asian-themed elements here. So taking some traditional Chinese icons, 3 different sculptures that you can walk around them individually, and then when you look at them from a particular angle, they merge into a singular piece that is almost like a 4th character from the other 3. So what Imagineering has afforded me is I actually met and married my husband. I met him when I was working on Pirates of the Caribbean. That's us at Stonehenge. I get to continue to raise creative and compassionate children and have a meaningful career at the same time, which is great for women, and I have to say Imagineering really supports that. I get to travel to distant lands. Traveling all over the world has been phenomenal. Cavort with monsters, walk with dinosaurs, bring legends to life. I get to make new friends. That's some work we did in China. I wear many, many hats, which I love. And the best thing of all is I get to work with a team of amazingly dedicated, talented, creative, collaborative, inspired dreamers and doers that really bring the magic of what we do to life. So, thank you.
That's sweet. Do I hit green? Oh, here we go. Our next presenter is Owen Yoshino, Principal Concept Designer. And, you know, I freely admit Owen's one of my favorite Imagineers because I've watched him grow from a shy graphics designer from the University of Hawaii into a shy professional skilled art director at the University of Imagineering. Owen began his Imagineering career in 1993 as an intern after his team was one of the winners in our Imaginations competition. Owen has contributed to numerous projects such as the renewal of Biggs Mountain at Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, and Tokyo Disneyland, the Millennium Event at Epcot, the Theo Award-winning projects such as Mission Space, and Millennium Village at Epcot, and Pirates of the Caribbean Buccaneer Gold at Disney Quest. Since 2007, Owen has been Principal Design Lead and Field Art Director for projects at Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. Of course, a big challenge always, but one that requires special patience, heart, and leadership since the big tsunami and earthquake in Japan. I'm sure it means a lot to Owen to be there with the team because Japan was his birthplace. Please welcome Owen Yoshino.
Thank you, Marty. I am Owen Yoshino. Marty pretty much said the whole beginning portion of my presentation there, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. I'm Owen Yoshino, Principal Concept Designer at Walt Disney Imagineering. And I joined Walt Disney Imagineering back in 1993 through a college competition internship program called Imaginations. And this was created by Marty to focus on diversity throughout the workforce. I've been working on projects for the Tokyo Disney portfolio since 2007, and today I'm here to tell you about the latest project I've designed and installed, Cinderella's Fairy Tale Hall, which opened in April 15th of this year. Just as the Magic Kingdom, Tokyo Disneyland's icon is the Cinderella Castle. And previously there was an attraction called the Castle Mystery Tour that was based on the Black Cauldron, but since the attraction has closed since 2007, I had an opportunity to design an all-new attraction themed appropriately to Cinderella that's only at Tokyo Disneyland. Cinderella Fairy Tale Hall is a walk-through attraction that expresses how any little girl or boy can become a princess, just as Cinderella has. While Cinderella and Prince Charming are out on their royal duties, you're invited to walk through the royal gallery to experience a series of artwork that tells how she went from being mistreated by her evil stepfamily to becoming a princess. Of the three art elements that make up the royal gallery, you're first encountered with a series of prologue murals. It was difficult to design such vertical murals because I really wanted to emphasize how Mary Blair illustrated and designed the scenes in the classic film, where all the architecture, furniture, doors, columns were vertically accentuated. So the wainscot are purposely set low and the walls were visually made to look elongated. I designed the murals to fit the elongated vertical layout, but the challenge aside from the composition was creating the art of what you didn't see in the film. Stylistically, I wanted the artwork to seem as if they came straight from the film, so I had the Walt Disney Consumer Products division paint the final production art you see here. One of the goals of this attraction was to make the interior space of the castle as beautiful and grand as its exterior presence. The pressure was high, knowing that the guest expectations were even higher. Our interior design division at Walt Disney Imagineering helped to make the interior space as elegant as anyone would expect where a princess might reside. Working with such criteria, upon completion of this attraction, you could swear that you're actually immersed in Cinderella's castle from the film. Artisans from around the kingdom were commissioned by Cinderella to represent the key moments of her story, expressing their specific story beat in their own artistic interpretation, within their featured art mediums including paper, ceramic, glass, metal, and wood. The effect wonders are miniature animated dioramas which I designed that capture the most important moments in Cinderella's story. The effect wonders are intimate gems of the Royal Gallery with incredible detail that dimensionally replicate moments in the featured film. There are 3 of them, and each are encrusted with their own show lighting, animation, and of course, Disney magic. This one's titled Cinderella's Friends and features her animal friends whom helped her create the dress to enable her to go to the ball, which was later tragically destroyed by her evil stepsisters. I repeatedly watched the film over and over to capture the design details, colors, aesthetics, and especially the essence and emotion of each scene. This one's titled Bippity Boppity Boo, which is the infamous transformation scene, where the fairy godmother appears and magically transforms Cinderella from her cinder form to a princess.